Gets me every single time. I push this little button, and out of this amazing webcam and my home studio, I have this tool where I can talk to the entire world and get my message out. And I am grateful for each and every one of you watching, each and every week, sharing, commenting, dropping in what we're doing here at In Harmony Interactive and being a part of our movement. And it is kicking up momentum. We'll talk about that in a little while. My daughter's literally sleeping on the other side of that wall, so I won't be as loud and crazy as I usually am. It's the 4th of July. And as I'm typing this and sitting here, it's now about 2:15 in the afternoon, and I've been cranking here at my desk for the last few hours. I think about freedom as my wife is off from work today, and many of you are probably enjoying a holiday. And I think about what freedom is. And I began to think about me working on this Tuesday, which is really any other day for anybody else, anywhere else in the world. But here in the United States, we decided that this is something we're going to celebrate. And this is the day none of us are going to work. I often think about this same freedom conversation on Saturday morning when I'm working, or Sunday morning when I'm working. I think of it often on a regular Wednesday afternoon when I'm out running errands, or I'm taking a break, spending time with my daughter, or spending time with my family, or traveling. It's a very interesting thing, this whole concept of freedom, what it is here in the United States compared to what it is to residents of other parts of the world, other countries. I think about this not just today on the anniversary of America gaining their independence, but I also think about this every single day, not just today, but every day. As I watch what's happening around the world and I watch what the media wants us to see and what the media wants us to think is happening all over the world, I'm constantly reminded by friends and family that are traveling to these other places where you wouldn't know anything is going on, but we are forced into this perception of what's happening. So I immediately start to think not just about freedom in sovereignty and freedom to make decisions and freedom to do what I want when I want, which obviously comes hand in hand with being an entrepreneur. It also means you're working more often than not as an entrepreneur. Not working for somebody else means I'm the one that's working when something needs to get done. And if something falls through the cracks, or if some extra effort is needed to put forth, and that's generally what happens in business ownership, by the way, you're generally, what did somebody tell me? Uh, I read a meme somewhere a long, long time ago, but it was something along the lines of entrepreneurship. You decide you don't want to work 40 hours for somebody else so that you can work 80 hours a week for yourself. And that's generally what it comes down to. I happen to love what I do here. I love our technology. I love our community. I love the conversations that I get to have. And frankly, the team that we have in place allows me to focus on all of the things that I love to do, which is ultimately creating content, talking, connecting, and dropping in with new wellness studios, with ketamine clinics, with psychedelic therapists, and all of these different conversations that I get to have day in and day out. This is exactly what lights me up. This is exactly what I'm called to do, and something that I'm very excited to do day in and day out. So when I think about freedom, at least in the workplace, I'm confident that it's something that I have and I get to work in and out of day in and day out. And that's because of you. That's because of the support that you've given this channel. It's the support you've given In Harmony. It's using our technology day in and day out. It's listening to our new tracks and our new music. It's participating in our Telegram group and being a member of our community, whether it's our user group or our affiliate group. So a big old thank you to you for some of that freedom that I get to experience. I think it's very easy for us to continually focus on that external freedom. And this morning, as I was reflecting in my morning meditation, I began thinking about this internal freedom that sits between our own two ears, the negative self-talk, the doubt, the voice inside our head that says you can't, that needs to be overpowered by I can. Yesterday afternoon, I wasn't feeling so hot. Not only did I have something going on in my stomach that just wasn't sitting well. I began to feel really down, and it certainly happens from time to time. Look, I have some of the most incredible tools available to me, and obviously the meditation cushion, the In Harmony Sound Lounge, the In Harmony Practitioner. I have amazing healers, body workers, magicians, sorcerers, wizards around me, and yet I, like every other human, feel down. Sometimes it's for a little bit each day. Sometimes it's once in a week. Sometimes it's when I actually slow down and turn the busyness off. Like yesterday. Yesterday was a little bit of a quieter day. For me, I was able to get caught up big time on a backlog of emails and communications that I needed to get done. Many of you on Sunday got dumped with a bunch of emails, and I appreciate you. Thank you for letting me get caught up. And now this is a nice, quiet holiday week with Independence Day in the middle of the week. But yesterday, as I was reflecting on why I was feeling the way that I was feeling, I began to dip into the tools that I have to feel better. I did a sound lounge session in the middle of the afternoon, not something I often do. I usually save my sound lounge sessions for the morning or at night. In the middle of my day is usually me cranking here at my desk on phone calls, Zooms, meetings, etc. Yesterday, I got to do a sound lounge session in the middle of the afternoon, and I got to reflect. I did our newest track, actually, Releasing Trauma. Actually, at the time, it was our newest track. Another track came out today, which we'll talk about here in just a few minutes. But I had an opportunity to really look inside and figure out what was going on. And I felt that doubt coming on. I felt that imposter syndrome coming in. I felt the questions of what am I doing, and is it worth it? And all of this self-doubt started to just override me. So I got a little exercise in. I went for a walk outside. I got some fresh and very hot air. It was 113 degrees yesterday. And I took some time to focus on me, to fill my cup, to make sure that I understood exactly what I was doing. I went back towards our VTO. Our VTO is our 1, 3, and 5-year plan. I read through what that looks like. I started looking through my own content on Instagram and YouTube and TikTok. Started watching the videos that we've been shooting. I started to look at the videos that are soon to be released. Make sure I was in alignment with the content that we were sharing. Make sure that I saw the vision and understood why I'm doing it. Because we all have these difficult days. We all have these days where we don't feel free, where we don't have that same positive outlook that keeps us chipper and looking towards the future. And even me yesterday was feeling that way. And going through this process got me in alignment. I've been to a few Tony Robbins events. I made my move. I made sure that I pulled myself out of it because I was conscious and aware of where I was and how I was feeling. And our technology was a piece of that. So too was getting back onto the mission and the vision and all of the future planning that we do on a regular basis to tie into where we're taking this company, where this movement is going, that the work is going to be difficult, that it's not always going to feel rewarding, and that there's a greater mission and vision that's at play here. And by the evening hours, I was feeling much better. I was able to do a little bit of work and then obviously relax a little bit and cool down. And this morning I woke up feeling like $1,000,000, ready to rock and roll. Good night's sleep, ready to charge forward. And here I am on Independence Day talking about freedom and thinking about the internal freedoms that we need to help people to break free into. Mental health is the next big issue that we are going to have to tackle as a society. I have absolutely no doubt. And this is near and dear to my heart, as friends and family members are clearly having breaks in their own mental health. And I've got a few scenarios that I'm not going to talk about that are very near and dear to me that are just heartbreaking. And it's all revolving around mental health. So the work that we're doing at In Harmony for me has never been more important. I have never felt more driven, more passionate, more alive to be doing the things that help push forward our mission, our vision, and to develop our brand even further and further. And again, that comes down to this live on a holiday. And I'm going to go out, I'm going to have some fun this afternoon, and we're going to do a couple pool parties, and we're going to see some family and friends, and We're going to do all those things as soon as my daughter wakes up. But I couldn't go out and do those things until I once spoke with you, until I spoke about what's happening here and what freedom means to me as it relates to in between our own head and having our own freedom to think the way we want and having the strength and the power for us to push past the negative self-talk, the negative self-doubt, and push into a place where we can, we will, we are, and we really step into the power that we know we all have. I'm no different from you, I promise. I wrestle with a lot of the same shortcomings. I wrestle with a lot of that same self-doubt, and yet I push forward, and so too can you. And this is why our technology is here. I was listening to Emily Fletcher, Ziva meditation. She said, we don't practice meditation to get good at meditating. We practice meditation to get good at life. And it resonated with me so much because our technology makes meditation fun. Our music meditations literally guide your mind, body, and spirit into that deep meditative state. What does that mean? It means the alpha and the theta brainwave state, which is the target brainwave state when you're meditating. Music and vibration takes you there. It guides your body directly to the destination. So our mission and vision has never been more powerful for me. We're just coming off of a Psychedelic Science Summit, and that was 12,000 people focused on psychedelic research and its impact on mental health, specifically treatment-resistant PTSD, treatment-resistant depression, treatment-resistant anxiety. And our technology was right smack in the middle of it with a digital therapeutic that can be used to enhance psychedelic therapy using a smaller dose to get bigger impact, or using no psychedelics whatsoever and getting the same impact that you would using psychedelics. Vibroacoustic therapy, our partnership with SoundSelf, it triggers the same neural pathways in the brain that psychedelic therapy does. So we're getting the same outcomes using our technology. This is something we're going to talk about more and more. Many of you that follow what we're doing cannot take psychedelics for various reasons. Either you have a CDL or you have some type of drug test that you need to do on a regular basis for work, or you're just afraid. It's just not something that you're open to doing for a variety of different reasons, and that's okay. Our technology can help you to get the same outcomes without using the entheogen, without using the sacrament, without using the external substance to achieve the same outcome. And this is something we're going to be talking more and more about. And as I download and kind of recover from what's been happening at Psychedelic Science, and before that Wonderland, and before that Meet Delic, and before that 25 years of psychedelic research personally, I continue to reflect back and count my blessings on the life that I've lived that has led me to this point right now, to be able to have conversations with people that are just being introduced to these therapies and these substances that I've had the pleasure of using for as long as I have. Granted, recreationally and then ceremonially, and now much more intentionally. This is a conversation that's going to be on a bigger and bigger and bigger stage as we continue to push forward. And it's something that I am very, very, very excited about. Vibroacoustics has its place in the psychedelics conversation, and it has its place in the mental health conversation. And this is something that I'm really excited to continue talking about. I'm soon to release my keynote from Radiance Festival. We've already started to cut out snippets and share those. I don't know if you've been on our podcast page lately, but there's well over 30 podcasts that have been published and linked back there. I don't know if you've been on our news page lately, but we are blowing up in the news. We have a ton of press, a ton of PR, and it's all linked to and listed right on underneath the Learn tab on our website. IamInHarmony.com. I'll even put it right up here, and then just look for the Learn tab. Underneath Learn, you're going to find podcast, science and research, news, and PR, and there is a ton of it. So take a moment to go check out IamInHarmony.com. A few things to touch on. I know I've run on for a little bit. I like to keep this around 20 minutes or less. Inventory, everything is in stock. inventory levels are lower. We've had a good week, and we have less inventory this week than we did last week. So that's a good thing. We're going to continue. I'll have an exact update for you next week. Summer's here. The schedule is light. This is certainly a holiday week. I hope many of you are out on the water. I hope many of you are out there going to look at and watch some fireworks. Stand upwind of those fireworks. There's a lot of heavy metals and toxicity that's used inside those. So be cognizant. Close your windows today. Even if it's beautiful outside, close your windows for the next day or so. Let all of that fall out, if you will, from these fireworks. Again, very, very, very toxic, and be cognizant of that. We've got a ton of new content. I was telling you before, I was looking through all of this new content that Andrew Reed, Red 5 Productions, is producing for us right now. We shot 82 shorts just 2.5, 3 weeks ago. So all of that content is going to be rolling out, and it is looking amazing. I'm super, super grateful for that. I'll have my Radiance Festival keynote coming out as well. So that's really exciting. We have new music and a new weekly live. So just, oh gosh, I think yesterday, maybe even today, did we release Ancestral Healing? So we released Releasing Trauma last week, and this week was Ancestral Healing. Anthony's been on a tear. A track a week is our goal. We are going to start releasing shorter versions of these tracks as well. So we've got some good stuff that's coming down the pike from our app and from a music perspective as well. Anthony and I are going to start going live about 11 a.m. Pacific on our In Harmony Instagram. And then once we get to 1,000 followers on TikTok, we're going to start going live on TikTok as well, so that we can start talking about music. So Instagram will be our home. As you can see, this live is broadcast through StreamYard. We do Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. And then we'll hit up our Instagram and TikTok communities through other lives focused on the music side of what we're doing as well. So a lot of gratitude for each and every one of you. I hope you have a spectacular afternoon and evening. Be safe, have fun, lots of love, lots of gratitude. Happy Independence Day to each and every one of you. Thanks so much.